You won't believe what this radically anti-Trump pollster is predicting for 2024. It's going to absolutely blow you away. We're going to hear the prediction. We're going to see the evidence behind that prediction, and we're going to see what it all means for the current state of the 2024 race. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, many of you know that we've just unfortunately been demonetized by the Grinches at Google, so make sure to show some love to our sponsor, and that's Liver Health Formula. Our livers are our body's master detoxifiers, but after decades of wear and tear, our livers slow down. They become sluggish. This is why so many of us struggle with weight gain and feeling tired all the time. But gang, fortunately, there's a simple, all-natural solution. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver. It helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities. It boosts your energy levels, and it works remarkably well to fight that horrible fatty liver that so many of us wrestle with. Liver Health Formula is backed by proven science, approved by American doctors, and the best part of it all, gang, every single bottle is manufactured right here in the USA. Click on that link below right now and try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free. Order today and you'll get a free bottle of blood sugar formula, but that's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to getliverhelp.com/Turley right now.
If you had to bet $150,000 on who's going to win in November, who would you bet on?
I never dreamed that I would say this, but I would bet on Trump. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. You don't come back from an impeachment. You don't come back from January 6th. You don't come back from any of this. But he's come back. The guy's a survivor. And his opponent is having so much trouble that I would, at this point, give the edge to Trump.
All right, so that was Frank Luntz. If you don't know, Luntz has passed himself off as a Republican for his entire polling career. You always see him on Fox News in front of his focus groups. The Republican establishment, for whatever reason, loves the guy. He's been very successful in lurching the party way to the left. He and Kevin McCarthy are best buds. I mean, the guy's an absolute creep. He's very anti-Trump. But even he is reading the writing on the wall. Even he's recognizing that Trump is absolutely crushing. He's crushing his competition in the Republican Party. He's crushing Biden in every single poll. And he's thus poised to easily become the 47th president of these United States. Here's a sample of Trump's dominance. This is the latest from NBC News.
Put this Trump lead in some perspective here. First of all, the 48% that he's registering here, that is the highest share for a Republican candidate in a final Des Moines Register poll ever. That surpasses the record of 43% from George W. Bush on the eve of the 2000 caucuses. Bush won those caucuses. Also the margin, Trump 48, Haley 20. That's a 28-point margin. That is also the biggest margin in a final Register poll, also breaking a record of George W. Bush of 23 points when he won the caucuses in 2000. So that Trump lead, we haven't seen that before, but we've been seeing a lot in the polling this year.
So that lead, that near 30-point lead going into Tuesday's Iowa caucus, it's the biggest recorded lead in any final pre-GOP caucus in the history of the Des Moines Register polling. And it's not just the Des Moines Register. Emerson has Trump up over 30 points from the pack. He's up 34 over Haley, who's coming in a very, very distant second. For his part, DeSantis has collapsed. I mean, he's political toast at this point. He's fallen and he ain't getting up. There are rumors that he's going to drop out after Iowa spent so much money there. There's obviously no coming back from this. When Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels is beating you, I mean, forget it. It's over. And speaking of over, for the general election, The legacy media is absolutely beside themselves over Biden. Biden is politically collapsing right before their very eyes. Here's ABC News reporting on Biden's disastrous polling.
They aren't improving. In fact, they seem to be going in the other direction. Our poll this morning has Biden's approval rating at 33%. That's historically low for him, low for an incumbent president. It's at 15 years since we see numbers that low. And on the economy, it's even actually worse. Only 31% say that they approve of Biden's handling of the economy.
Revolver News, based on Rich Barris's analysis of the polling, Revolver News is calling it nothing less than a code red situation for Biden. Quote, key demographic groups aren't just mad at Joe Biden. They're abandoning him in droves. When you consider his historically low polls, this isn't a traditional presidential slump that can be brushed off and fixed with some stumping and handshaking. What we're witnessing right now, and what the media won't tell you, is that this is a code red in the political world. We're watching the complete collapse of a political figure, and the media is in a frenzy trying to cover it up. Now, as you heard from Frank Lutz earlier, as far as he and the Washington establishment are concerned, this wasn't supposed to happen. This is not the script they prepared for 2024. That's exactly what Brian Cates over at the Epoch Times is mocking the media for. They literally cannot believe that Trump is coming back stronger than ever. Listen to what he writes. Quote, right now, Donald J. Trump's opponents can't quite believe what they're seeing. Just a few short months ago, the swamp denizens of Washington were breathing sighs of relief. They'd done it. They had defeated the awful Trump, handed the White House to Joe Biden, and could now begin implementing all their cherished plans for a post-Trump America. And then an amazing thing happened. A twice-impeached former president who had supposedly incited an insurrection at the Capitol building on January 6th has returned. And he's looking stronger than ever. And I think that assessment is absolutely spot on. This is what has the Washington establishment and the legacy media so utterly shell-shocked. They literally cannot believe that after 2 impeachments, after the whole J6 kangaroo court hearings, after 4 indictments and over 90 felony charges, Trump is actually stronger than ever. And I believe in the end, their own arrogant narcissism, their radically entitled, self-absorbed obsessiveness is exactly what blinds them from seeing why Trump keeps getting stronger. You see, what Frank Luntz and his establishment cronies don't get is that it's not despite the impeachments and the indictments that Trump is stronger than ever. What? It's precisely because of the impeachments and the indictments. There's a one-to-one causal relationship between them. With every impeachment, with every indictment, Trump's polls go up. He's not stronger despite the impeachments and indictments. He's stronger precisely because of them. And he's stronger because of them precisely because we are suffering as a nation a legitimacy crisis. The people have had it with the establishment. They see the establishment as a bunch of incompetent morons who literally destroy everything they touch. They've made a mess out of the border. They made a mess of our economy. They made a mess out of Afghanistan. They made a mess out of the whole global world order. They made a mess out of our infrastructure and supply chains. They made a mess out of COVID and the whole vaccine insanity. They made a mess out of our cities, many of which make Mogadishu look like paradise by comparison. They made a mess out of race relations. They made a mess out of our schools and our universities. And then, as if to make matters even worse, and then they have these arrogant asses have the gall to blame all of their failures on you. They literally blame everything on you. You're racist, you're bigots, you're sexist, you're transphobes. You're responsible for all the problems we're facing. You're not paying your fair share. You're a bunch of insurrectionists. You're threats to our democracy. It's never them. It's always us. And when the people see the one man, the one candidate who comes out and says, no, it's not you, it's them. They're the problem. The ruling class, the arrogant and incompetent ruling class who break everything they touch, they're the problem, not you. When voters see that one man who's articulating that divide, they see he's the one who's also getting persecuted by the very ruling class he so vigorously criticizes and condemns. It only serves to confirm and legitimate that criticism and condemnation. That's why the more they persecute, the more popular he gets. The more they persecute and prosecute, the more popular he gets. And unfortunately for our ruling class, they're too arrogant and too stupid to see it. As many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in two ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those two acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.